from Flannel Beaver Studios in the comfy confines of Northern Ontario, Canada. This is the SWC Plus Roundtable. I am your moderator once again, Robert Cast, and we are here to talk Star Wars. I don't do this alone. I have a couple of really good friends of mine. We're going to head out west, but not all the way west. We'll say around Alberta-ish. My good buddy Tim from the Nerd Room podcast. How you doing, Tim?
Oh man, it is so exciting to be here. It's been a minute since I've done a round table, and Star Wars is in a little bit of a renaissance right now. It's got a little bit of momentum behind it, and I can't wait to get back to the old days and just talk some Star Wars with you boys. Excited.
Excellent. Yeah, no, that's what I love about the round table. It's loosey goosey. It's basically my excuse to talk Star Wars. pardon the old pun, but hey, there's lots to talk about now. So, and of course, Tim, we're joined by the other Rob, one of the other Robs from the Commonwealth, Rob from the Generation X-Wing podcast. How you doing, Rob?
Hello there. Yeah, I'm doing good. Me and Bernie are chilling out here, and I forgot he was back there. I left Grandpa in the car there, and so now he expects to go to the store. So it's all good. That's just going to make great audio, by the way. No way seeing what's happening here.
Yeah, exactly.
But just so people know, my background's a Millennium Falcon, and Bernie Sanders sitting in his nice warm mittens, sitting in the back seat there. But the best jokes are the ones you have to explain, by the way.
Yes, I found I do that lots.
A little tip from me to you, Rob. So.
Thanks. Oh well, I'm sure we won't be short of any jokes, I guess, because this podcast we have Tim.
Do you not listen to my show? I'm short of jokes all the time. That's why I got other people on the show.
I don't point out shortcomings, because I have a laundry list of them myself. So yeah, it's been a minute since we've been on a round table. Again, life gets in the way, but this isn't my weekly show. I don't have a weekly show anymore. Roman and I, we didn't get divorced. We still talk, but we don't have to talk for half an hour every week, which is refreshing for us. Which is funny, because that's the other podcast, or the Roman podcast, which is still online if you have any interest in listening to it. Every time, guys, I'm the guy that goes, I'm boots on the ground guy. I try to make it. I mean, Fan Expo in Toronto. I've been to a bunch of celebrations. I've been to San Diego Comic-Con once, like one of those bucket list things. But every time I go somewhere and you meet friends or online friends, it's like, where's Roman? Like, what? Roman's not, and pardon the nerd room parlance, but he's not the nerd of the two of us. So he wouldn't necessarily show up to a con, but and also we're not married. Despite our show, I guess people assume otherwise. But anyway, enough about my bromance with my buddy.
I don't think you're over it yet, sir.
It's been almost a
little
year.
pining here.
I thought his name was Roman Cast as well.
No. My last name being legitimately being Cast is just serendipitous.
You got that same look that Mando had when arriving to see Grogu, and is just looking in the distance there, and you can see him, and it's just like, but I came so far.
Right here. I guess it's the mic. It's this whole podcasting thing. It's very, how should I say, triggering. I'm not a big buzzword guy, but that's that. So, all right, lots of stuff. I'm gonna throw it. We'll go with Tim first. We just had a Book of Boba Fett episode this week. Well, as we're recording, if you don't know, there was a very special episode of the Book of Boba Fett, as we used to say, Mr. Williams, in the 80s, if you remember. It was a very special episode. We don't have to talk about that just yet, but it's low-hanging fruit. Tim,
it is.
For those who are listening in the far future, we just watched Luke train Baby Yoda / Grogu on the Book of Boba Fett. Thoughts?
Well, let me just say, the last two episodes have been something special. Some of the best Star Wars I think we've seen in a very, very long time. And that's not to say the stuff we have seen is not any good. It's just, this is just next level storytelling, next level use of characters, I will say, because this show, yes, being Boba Fett, my headcanon now is that it's actually called the Book of Tatooine, because this seems more like an anthology type series where the nexus of the Star Wars universe is, of course, Tatooine. And everyone that we've seen so far has some inherent connection to that lovely sand planet. So that's where my headcanon's at. But anyways, your question. Luke, seeing him, R2, Grogu, this is full spoilers, guys. I'm sorry if you're already here, but Ahsoka, Mando, like was unbelievable to see all this together. And it's the first time we're seeing Ahsoka and Luke together. It might not be their first time together, but it's definitely the first time we're seeing that live action on screen. My reaction, I said out loud, holy F, twice, because I was like, there's no way that when I saw R2, I was like, okay, this is cool. There's no way they're going any further than this. And then they go the next step, which is the Luke reveal. And then the next step, Ahsoka's there, or whatever order it went in. But anyways, mind completely blown, because they continue, well, at least in what we thought these Disney Plus series could potentially be. We never thought in a million years we'd see Luke in Mando season 2. And I still, even with that knowledge, I still was shocked at, one, that he was in this show, two, how much they used him. Like, he was on screen for 50% of the show with that de-aging, and the mouth's still a little bit weird, but it was incredible, unbelievable. Like, the moments just sitting there and watching that as a Star Wars fan and as a true believer in what they can do with this platform, man, storytelling here this is Star Wars. This is their house. This is where they're sitting. This is where they're telling stories on Disney Plus, and I'm here for every single second of it.
Oh, and you also you forgot to mention Cad Bane walked into the
Oh
shot.
yeah, okay, come on,
just throw him on top.
Yeah, and Cobb Vanth, like we're just gonna throw everything we have at you. Yeah, Cad Bane looked awesome, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, like it was just, and again, that would be enough to. How do I say? That would be enough to be like, oh, that would be a very special episode. You know what I mean?
The price of admission.
Exactly.
Right there.
That would be the season finale of any other TV program. If you had to basically, like, say if you're watching Star Trek Discovery, and then all of a sudden you see. I mean, you see when they brought Spock in, it's like, oh, last episode, you see, oh, it's a pointy ear, oh, it's him, okay, great. I mean, it's, and then, oh, that's the season cliffhanger. It's like, no, this is just middle of the season.
Just an episode. We're going to use every character that we have available to us.
Yeah, Rob Williams.
Hello there.
I know you saw it because I saw one of your green screen pictures.
Yeah.
So
That's right. Yeah.
Your thoughts? I'll get into mine after, but your thoughts on seeing what we saw this week.
Okay, so yeah, we had just uploaded our podcast as of today. It was released today, and it's funny you say that, Tim, because that's kind of what I was asking. Is this Tales from Tatooine? Is this the Book of Tatooine, as you were saying? It kind of is, isn't it? It's really cool. I mean, now that being said, I mean, the background with Luke and they're not on Tatooine, but it all comes down to that. But I'm just loving this series. I got verklempt seeing all this stuff with Luke and the connection and the poetry with Yoda and Grogu. Lucas will be proud. And I'm just loving this series. I understand. It's a weird. I think even Corey said this, or Corey said this on his show, Tumbling Saber. It's just weird because it's so jagged and messed up at times. The flow is just so broken, but it's just like, oh, by the way, here's Cobb Vanth, and like, okay, forget about you bought me, and then it's just kind of all over the place, and then it just brings in with some of the best stuff we've ever seen since Return of the Jedi. For me, anyways. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely everything. I love the scooters. I love Yoda. I love Luke. And if they're willing to bring in Cobb Vanth, they're willing to bring in Cad Bane, Luke Skywalker, Ahsoka, who's left? Who is left to bring? Are we going to see like a freaking Han Solo? Are we going to see, I don't know, Ben Solo? I don't even know what time is. I mean, there's still room to blow our socks off. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. And like I said, I'm enjoying this.
I've been getting that a lot too with people like, hey, like fair weather Star Wars fans are like, hey, you mean, is Darth Maul still alive?
No.
No, I know that, but this is what the questions I've been getting, because it's like, I'm sure with you guys, it's like, oh, I have a Star Wars question. Oh, I'll just text Rob because he has to know. It's like, oh, I sometimes I don't. Like it's like the universe is way bigger than 3 movies now. You know, like when it was.
And you as a Star Wars fan are just like that meme where you're just pointing at the board and like, let me explain Star Wars to you, and it's just everything's connected.
Everyone's insane. Looking for that though. Everyone's looking, and I think that's what this Mando series, if we include Boba Fett inside of that as part of 2.5 or the interlude between season 2 and 3, everyone's looking for a connected story right now, like the MCU has delivered and continues to deliver. We've been trained for a certain way for 12 years how to consume movies of that genre, and people are looking for that. And so jumping all over the timeline is confusing to people. Like when we get to Kenobi, people are going to be like, okay, where's Mando? And like, what's Luke doing during, you know what I mean? Like people are going to be expecting some connectivity into that. And it's not really the fault of the MCU or Lucasfilm that they're not delivering a linear story. But people are going to be looking and confused by that and Cassian, that we're going to go back and take a moment in time in between episodes 3 and 4 or right before episode 4. You know what I mean?
I think, sorry, I know, Rob, you're going to give your input here, but you know what would have been helpful throughout this whole thing? Some sort of timeline thing. Now, I know not a lot of people, the people who are not as nerdy as F don't understand the BBYs and stuff. But if you just had, such and such BBY 10 years after the Emperor's dead or something like that, some timeline that would have really helped. Now, I know that the Book of Boba, they kind of messed up a bit of the flow. Time was lost a little bit with the Book of Boba. We didn't, you find out episode 4 that he's been with them for years, been with the Tusken for years. But I think it would have been nice to have some sort of timeline, because I remember even when Rogue One first came out, and people were asking us, is like, okay, so is this after Return of the Jedi, before Return of the Jedi? When is this? Is this?
Yeah, where's Rey? Where's Finn? Yeah, like, is that her mom? Like, people were very, and again, that's just a consequence of how people have been trained in, like I said, the last 12 years on how to consume movies, is that everything in a franchise is a chapter, is a sequel to itself. The idea of a true sequel doesn't exist in the MCU. And maybe it doesn't actually exist inside of this Disney Plus Star Wars storytelling, is that we're all expecting the Book of Boba Fett to be a Fett-centric story in the same way that Mando is a Mando-centric story. And at least I was from the title. And I think that's why it's a little bit of a misnomer. But this has turned out to be something a little bit different.
In Marvel, they keep going back to the time when everybody came back, or they kept talking. Thanos was a 0 point.
Yeah, and they used 2012 the event in New York. Right?
Yeah,
the attack in New York as a 0 hour too.
Yeah, and they keep going back to that. I don't see that in Star Wars. They don't talk about a 0 hour, and the 0 hour truly is the destruction of the second Death Star. That 100%. Is when everything changed around, and they don't, besides putting a couple stormtroopers heads on pikes, they don't really go into that. They tease it with Republic credits. They tease it with just spikes and stuff, but they don't really. At least in this series, they did in Mando. I think they did it better in the first season of Mando, but they don't really do it here, and I think that could have been useful. So.
Well, that's like that. Well, a couple of things with Star Wars. If you were a fan and you do a little deep dive, it's the Battle of Yavin is the BC AD point in their universe. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like you said, Rob, technically, but no, it's at the destruction of the second. At the end of Return of the Jedi should be that point.
That's kind of weird too, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's your snap point, right? Where you've moved from the Battle of New York as your 0 point to now the snap, and the blip really is your 0 point in the post Thanos world, right? Everything refers back to that. They don't refer back to New York. Hawkeye did a little bit, but they've moved away from that as time's progressed on. And so Star Wars almost needs to do something very similar.
Yeah.
World War I wasn't seen as World War I. It was the Great War, and that was the war to end all wars. They didn't think there was a World War II, and all of a sudden, so Battle of Yavin, that's the big one. It's like, holy crap, there's another moon. It's just like,
and also too, Star Wars is guilty of training everybody that pays attention to culture to someone who's related to somebody.
Yeah,
Because
yes.
and again, I'm not trying to date myself again with the whole drive-ins 1977 parents Star Wars.
Oh, take a drink.
Drink, yeah.
You saw it in the movie theater.
No, in the drive-in, not the theater.
Sorry, drive it. You were there. You were there.
But Rob Williams, you could remember. Nobody.
I'm older than both of you.
Yes, I remember a time when you wouldn't even dream that Darth Vader was Luke's father. It wasn't even a thought. But now, because of what they did in Empire in 1980, you know what I mean, like 42 years ago now, they've trained pop culture viewers to suspect stuff like that. Is that you know what I mean? Like when people ask, "Oh, is that Rey's mom or is that Leia's brother or sister, incestual something?" Like, does that make any sense?
Yeah, because they follow through with it.
No. Well, and people are always looking for a connection, right? Like there's more meaning here. People are looking for that the universe itself, at least inside of these franchises, isn't just kind of random events intersecting at some point, which is consistently Tatooine, right? There's a connection. People are looking for those threads, and more so ever than ever, people are looking for those threads, the little pieces, the Easter eggs, and these guys have done it. Like Filoni and Favreau are just unbelievable at putting in those Easter eggs. The fact that this is a Filoni episode, it only makes sense that he's been given free reign on the entire catalog of characters inside of Star Wars.
He owns the Tree of Trust.
Yeah.
The tree, yes. For me, but I haven't mentioned anything about it, but this episode for me was R2's in it, so I'm sold.
Yeah.
For those that not in the know, I'm an astromech builder, and R2 actually lives upstairs from where I am. So I'm a huge R2 fan, so it's like right away you got me. It's like, more legitimate on-screen time with R2 this is actual canon. This is not, I didn't read it in a comic because he's in every comic. I mean, it's not like, so you got me. Ahsoka, cool. Luke, like this is Luke. This is what I wanted. Again, I saw some little hate online with like, oh, this is the real sequel that I want. I'm like, okay, easy. No, we have a sequel trilogy. It's okay. If you didn't like it, that's cool. Not everything is for everybody. But like, it's not like, no, they're not trying to course correct. They have this
30 years
to play with. Yeah. And they're not afraid to bounce around on the timeline like we've been talking about. So, and now it's like, okay, what struck me was odd. It's like, okay, we got Mando in the middle of Boba Fett. Okay, I get it. Sure, why not? This is cool. And then it's like, you're watching an episode of Book of Boba Fett, and he's not in the episode. It's like, oh, okay. But I do get it. I mean,
he's not had a line in the last 2 episodes of his own show.
Yeah, and I'm okay. I'm 1,000% okay with it. Like, it's one of those.
I think Tamara Morrison's fine with it too, if I understand correctly.
Cash that chick.
He wanted to say less.
Yes.
So.
Oh. Okay. Well, okay. Now.
Oh, I sparked this. I triggered something.
Here's something. Whenever he introduced himself, and I am Boba Fett, it is exactly like the holiday special animation.
Is
I
it?
am Boba Fett.
Yes.
My God, it is. Just when I said that, I heard it. Yeah.
Okay, so for those not in the know.
Hello, friend.
Yes. You don't have to watch the holiday special from 1978. Just go ahead and watch.
You should, though. You should.
You should.
It's kind of a rite of passage. Eat some mushrooms or whatever. I'm not promoting drug use.
It'll make it clearer, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You'll have a better time with it. But you can look at the animation, and it's funky 70s style, very stylistic animation. It's very cool. Again,
Nirvana.
Yeah, but if you hear when you get introduced to Boba Fett for the first time in Star Wars canon, and it's he is riding a beast bigger than a Rancor.
Yep.
In that shot, and he says, "And I am Boba Fett," and it is exactly the way he does it.
I bet you that was a Favreau thing. He said you have to say it like this, because he even pulled Mando's gun is from that as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The 2-pronged gun.
Yeah, definitely.
So right off the bat, that got me. Again, throughout this, not the last couple Mando episodes, but it's like, remember when rumors of the Kenobi series that was coming out, and like, well, he's got to go somewhere. Who's going to watch a series of a guy wandering around Tatooine? Yeah, and it's like, Well, now we have it, and it's not even Kenobi. It's like this is exactly what I was expected to see. If Kenobi, it's like, oh, Kenobi had
That's hilarious.
Kenobi had this thing with sand people. Kenobi, you hooked up with a Jawa. You mean, or like whatever you mean? Like it just.
It's Ewan McGregor. We saw this guy travel across a desert in a motorbike. We're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch a whole series with him dressed as a Jedi for sure.
Yeah. So that's my thing. It's like, well, I was expecting this, but this isn't the series I was expecting to see it in. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't expecting to see the Book of Boba Fett. Period. We got that surprise at the end of season 2 of Mando.
Yeah.
Now, Rob, I have to ask. The absence of Reese, is it disappointing?
No, yes and no. Reese did not make an appearance yet, but there was a grand appearance. Yes. There was a grand appearance in episode 5. Mando goes to the club, and there's a Gran in a nice rainbow dress. So I got her number, by the way. But it's I was really happy to see a Gran. So that would have been icing on the cake for me. But I think the best at the point they should have used him or any other alien hanging around at that time was when Fennec Shand sent that little ball in to check out what's going on. That would have been a nice little zoom through the caverns.
Well, we saw Weequay.
We see lots of Weequays. There's tons of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But we didn't even see a dancer, a Ulak dance or anything like that. So, or Twi'lek, I should say.
Making you guys feel better that Max Rebo's still getting gigs on Tatooine?
Yeah.
He wasn't in that explosion. He wasn't there.
He wasn't there. Okay, good. And even like those Cantina guys too. Like I was like, oh, it makes me feel so good that he's still getting gigs, even after everything.
Okay. Another how rewarding was the new to screen Wookiee.
Oh man, that was unbelievable.
What's his Black
Chrysanthemum, yeah.
Now I'm very familiar. I've been reading the Afro comics since day one, so I'm 100%. I knew exactly what that was when I'm like, oh my, this is live action. This is cool.
Yes.
We always expect. Mark Godsiff used to do this. He would we'd do TSW comics when we used to do that. And we'd see stuff like the Varish Vow, what Jedis do when they want to go off. And it's like, that's what's going to happen to Luke. And that's when you see him in The Last Jedi. This is exactly, I'm like, no, I don't think they're going to pick up a comic off the comic like that. Like, they usually don't. But now it's like, you got these characters like, oh yeah, that's right off the comic. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it's, I understand not making a movie where you have to, Darth Vader, Star Wars, book 6 of series 2. This is a must read for you in order for you to understand this $100 or $200 million movie we just made. No, they're not going to do that. But in an episode, when you're splashing in these characters, it's like I know who that is.
Yeah.
Look, I think you're right in saying that you can't have your barrier for entry being issue 6 of Darth Vader or Dr. Aphra or whatever to introduce Black Karistan. How do you say that?
I think
Chrysanthemum. Yeah, but they call him Santo as a nickname.
Santo. There we go. I like that a lot better. But at the end of the day, pulling him in and giving him a tiny introduction is easy. Right? No one needs to know that he has a history, but it's cool for us and cool for the people that have read those comic books to say, hey, I understand he's hung out with Boba before. He spent time on Tatooine. It's cool to see all of that. And the fact that Mando really was the first place where they're pulling characters from beyond the films into, with Cobb Vanth, I think being the first of that was really like pulled in a meaningful way from a different medium into a story. That was awesome. And then seeing this from the comics, and then that means that, Aphra exists in this live action world, and no, they're not going to be beholden to all of those stories, those, issues and issues and issues of stories. They're going to be okay. Oh, there you go.
This is BT there. He's
BT,
the
cute little
BT
droid.
000 exists. Yes.
He's the beast. For those listening, I made a baby astromech BT.
It's unbelievable. But yeah, it opens up all of those avenues for these characters. I can see in Mando season 3 a need to bring in a BT 000 or an avenue at least for that. And it just makes everything there. Like the fact that Luke is a reoccurring character in this series, like in the Mando series, is unbelievable. But now that you're pulling in all of these other characters and mining all of the new stuff too is really cool, not just pulling from Legends. And so there's so much on the plate. Rebels characters, Thrawn, everyone is going to be in this universe at some point.
Which is I'm okay with, because if you're going to do what they did and do the reboot and make anything that wasn't on a screen Legends, you know what I mean? And saying, and again, Mickey Mouse did not come to my house and burn they're right behind me. If you're watching the live stream, you can see that I got a bunch of paperbacks. There's my Thrawn trilogy right there, right on the end. So,
so beautiful.
Again, they're still here. I can still enjoy them. But if you're gonna take it now, it seems like they're how deep are we in from the Disney takeover that happened in what
2012, 13? 12,
yeah, so almost 10 years, like 9 years, 10 years. And now it's like, yeah, okay, they've built up this catalog of, they have new novels. They have, a couple hundred comics now from all over the universe. Or all over the galaxy, far, far away, if you will. So it's great. It's rewarding, but it's not required. To enjoy.
I think I've mentioned this on this show before, but the name of it being called Legends is perfect, because what is a legend? A legend's a story that may not have the written proof people want, or it's told by people over generations. And that's the whole friggin' argument with a lot of Book of Boba. People, even my son, who's never really seen the movies lately, he was just like, I expected Boba to be badass. I expected Boba to do this. It's like, give me an instance where Boba's done that. And he's just like, well, there's this one time. No, that never happened. All you see him is fall in a hole, nod, or is no good to be dead. And that's about it. It's just, it's all legends. It's all the story of. And so when we can make those legends real, and that's what Filoni does. He's playing with those toys, as we see in the memes. It's just like, I'm going to take an idea from there and make it. Now I'm going to make that legend fact. And I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's Arthurial almost. And then now it's like, whoop, no, we found this. Now it's canonical in its history. Yeah. It's actual. So, yeah, anyway, so I'm assuming thumbs up all around on what they're doing.
Hell yeah. Like, that's the best stuff we've been seeing since Mando season 2.
I'm really liking this, and I think I like the fact that they're taking a break from movies.
Me too.
To shake off all the Skywalker stuff. And still, strangely enough, have Skywalker involved, but it's not all about him. It's not all about you, Luke. But it's just nice, because when they decide to go to an actual movie again, I keep referring to Kyle and Corey and Tumbling Saber. Actually, I think they may have talked it on your show, Tim, last week. But it's just like, now they can go at it with this whole new world that's been built up by TV and Kenobi and Boba and all that sort of stuff. So maybe this will lead into a new movie that people will have a better background for and better appetite, and not be expecting Luke and Leia and Han. So,
well, they found their footing again. It seems creatively. I can never say that word properly, but they found their path here, I think, on Disney Plus, and I think they stick with it, right? I don't know if they need to rush to a big screen. Eventually, they're going to want to get there, because there is serious dollars tied to that. But when you're looking at the stories that they're telling, and I'm a fan of the sequel trilogy and all that, but these 3 seasons of Mandalorian, if you want to call all 3 of them, whatever, sure. This story they're developing in the post-Return of the Jedi era is, I think, the best stories they've done since the original trilogy. I love the prequels. I love the sequels. I love the legend stuff and the comic books and all that. But this here is on a different level, where at the start of Mando, our expectation was, hey, it's Star Wars TV. Cool. Let's do this. We had no expectations that we were going to have all of this, let alone characters from the original trilogy making reasonably substantial appearances. We thought, oh, it's TV, all those characters are off the table. That's a perception that TV carried pre-streaming service. They're never going to touch Luke. They're never going to touch Boba. You know what I mean? Ahsoka, no way. They're going to wait for a movie. No, they've done it all here. And the streaming has opened up this brand new way to tell stories and make Star Wars overly accessible to everybody. And I love that they're using this platform to its fullest. Like, they could have really shot themselves in the foot and said, no, we're going to save all of this stuff and we're going to do an Ahsoka movie. We're going to do, a post Return of the Jedi movie and all this. And no, they're comfortable here. I say stay here. Don't rush. Don't rush to a movie.
Before we step off Book of Boba, Rob, there's a couple of videos that I really recommend. Ryan Airy from Screen Crush did this great video on the use of flashbacks. And I don't know if you guys remember, but remember when the sequels came out, episode 7, 8, and 9, and the fact we were getting flashbacks at all was a big deal. And now it's just a given. We're going to get a flashback. I mean, Boba just can't. It's 5. He's dipping in the pool there. We're going to get a flashback. But he did a great video on flashbacks and the use of it and how Book of Boba could have used it better. And it's really good. And he loves to show himself. But you have to be critical as well. And he does a great video of that. And Star Wars Explained did a great video just recently on the connection of Boba Fett and Mandalorian, two paths that were going the same direction in just different times. And how Boba and the reason we're getting Mandalorian has a lot to do with Boba's path and what he chose or what was chosen for him a lot of the time. And there's that nice connection between the two. And the reason we're getting so much Mando, it could be because of the connections that they have in their life. Two good little videos that I recommend. So.
Very nice. Excellent. Yeah, so thumbs up all around for Book of Boba Fett, or like Disney streaming for what they've been doing so far. This is what I love about this show. Like what I really enjoy about like fandom, if I can say, is yes, there are enjoyable parts. Hearing Troy the boy on the Nerd Room talk, his review of the last Spider-Man movie was it was just awesome. And again, it's I loved it. Not to go on a Spider-Man tangent, I think that movie put that trilogy up there in my top 5 trilogies. Like,
it's good, man.
Because it's that good. But my point was hearing Troy talk about stuff like that. Matt Salvatore, when he talks about the Justice League, there's certain things, and you don't have to love it as much as they do. It's just some people, it is just they love it. Oh, Matthew Gilbert saying hi. He's like, hello, what do we have here? Hey, how you doing? Our friend from Australia. So
G'day.
We're
G'day. I was being polite.
Okay.
It wasn't.
Sorry, that's a reflex.
Oh, we didn't really have a ship on the Bobby. I wasn't doing that. I was saying g'day.
Okay.
I love Australia.
We're moving on. Again, we're gonna go on to we got some other stuff coming up. What's coming up? 2022, Tim. We got Kenobi coming up real quick. Cassian's coming up. Bad Batch. Apparently, we're getting real soon.
Yeah, well, I'm hearing Kenobi on the first part of May. May 4th this year is a Wednesday, and that is the Disney Plus.
Hating the Wednesdays. Oh, I hate it's on Wednesdays.
It is tougher. Like I like it because I can't get to it as fast on Wednesdays. Fridays, I can get to almost right away, but Wednesdays it's like middle of the work week, right? I have to wait
work to do
9 or 10 o'clock at night to watch it and dodge spoilers all day on
Rick.
social
Damn
media.
it. Shut the fuck up, people. It's just like, I'm sorry. I have to run. I'm sorry. I'm going to vent a little bit. I have to run 4 or 5 social media sites. And it's because of my volunteer work. I run 2 social media for volunteer for the Rebel Legion and for the 501st. I got to run the Gen X wing. I got to run and so I have to be on social media just to try to get my viewership up to 5. And it's just like, people can't shut up just for like one day. I was spoiled with episode 6, and I'm just pissed off that people can't shut their mouth because they're so insecure and so like, I gotta be first. I gotta be the first in my block to show my dick all around the place. It's just like, I'm so angry at this. I'm sorry. It just shut up.
No problem. I'm just writing down.
I don't have to get off social media. I can't. I got stuff to do. You know, it's just.
I think with that, I think the important piece about using social media and the way that I use it, at least for usually until our episode drops, which is traditionally about a week after the episode, because we record on Tuesdays, episodes come out Wednesdays, our show comes out on Thursdays, and so we never have spoilers for that week. But even when I'm posting about it online, just be subtle about it. Just say, hey, you know what? This week, A Book of Boba Fett was absolutely incredible. Go watch it. You'll understand. Yep. Right? You don't have to go out there and post a picture of Grogu and Luke or Ahsoka and Luke and say, oh my goodness, can you believe this? It's okay to be subtle about your opinion.
Or like us, we have a Marvel, or basically it's a Disney Plus spoiler chat group on Twitter that I avoid on Wednesdays, because again,
me too. I do the same thing. I just
no fault
don't
of
click
mine.
into it.
It just, you mean like our good friend Matthew, he's in Australia. He sees this long before we do. You know what I mean? Like, he's finished work, watched the episode, and it's like, okay, but he knows he doesn't go on his personal account and to go as crazy. Like, but there are people like that just have to.
It's insecurity. I'm sorry. It's insecurity.
First out there. But anyways, to your point, Kenobi May 4th likely drop. That's the kind of guess out there that's been rumored. We were talking about in our group DM about it coming out in May. That's Star Wars month. Kenobi being one of the legacy characters. May 4th being on a Wednesday. It all just seems to nicely intersect there. So hopefully we get that. I'm really looking forward to that show because it looks like another one that's really taken the cuffs off of any sort of creative boundaries when it comes to using and utilizing characters from the original trilogy, the prequels, and that likely you're going to get Vader in there, Anakin in some form, probably, I would guess, a dual or parallel story going on where it's not just Kenobi focused. We're going to be getting a bit of the Anakin Vader battle, maybe some internal stuff that we've seen in the comic book that's really great. My guess is they're going to recreate that Maul battle from the end of Rebels?
Yes.
I think they're going to probably redo that.
Why would they do that?
Well, if you're looking for a true antagonist, you're looking to wrap up a story for fandom, for people that don't watch Rebels, it's a great place to do it. I think, you step a little bit on that Filoni verse, that what they created inside of Rebels, but I think it's hard to ignore that final battle and just say it exists over there. I think a live action recreation, because it's so subtle, that battle, right? It's not a lot. And I think it would be cool to have that live action. Ray Park, I guess maybe is an issue, but so I don't know how they're going to do that, but luckily Darth Maul is a painted face with horns stuck on his head, right? You don't necessarily need that guy to portray that character.
Especially with that, if they do it shot for shot recreation of the Rebels battle, you don't need someone as agile as Ray Park doing it.
No, and it just seems like it's a fitting end. We saw that character pop up in Solo. There, people are looking for him, right? And yes, the animated stuff is excellent, and it is canon, and it is accessible on Disney Plus. But let's be honest here: people aren't gonna go back and track their way through Rebels season. The GA, the common person that is enjoying what they're putting live action, and so to give that part of fandom or the periphery of fandom that moment, I think would be unbelievable. All of us would be like, yeah, it exists here, but a recreation of it, an homage to it, maybe elaborate a bit more on that, because that's the piece we don't have for Kenobi. Who's the antagonist? What is happening here? He's not just going to be watching Luke, right? We know there's lots going on in Tatooine, but there needs to be a little more there, I think, and having the Vader in the mix is important, but also having Maul in the mix, I think, is going to be an interesting dynamic that they can explore, because it's 6 episodes, right? That's a lot of time. We found out with Boba that that's a lot of time to spend with one man in the sand. And, and the economics of it, I think, in Boba don't work as well as maybe it could have. But Kenobi, they have to, I think, break away from this a little bit. I think the idea that he hasn't seen Vader since episode 3, I think that's off the table. I think they can interact. The idea that Kenobi never left Tatooine, I think that's off the table. He can leave Tatooine. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't need to be there all of the time. And I want them to explore that, right? I don't want this to be as subtle. He's in his hut. We're watching him do chore. It's got to be a little
Doing
bit
the
more
laundry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
scrubbing that thing.
Same
you know,
old robe.
He can get like a baby monitor holocron or something for Luke.
Yeah. Like, or just put a droid out there and be like, hey, if this kid wanders off or someone shows up, just give me a shout here. And then if Cassian, of course, sticking with Disney Plus, that's another one. I think it's like 11 episodes. I think it's quite big. But it's another one that ties into Rogue One. We're still in that pre-New Hope time frame, and I'm digging that. And also collecting, man. Like, Black Series is a whole nother level because it's so expensive now. But I've gone back and I'm doing Power of the Force and Vintage. I'm back into that game, and so Star Wars is, like I said at the start, there's like a little renaissance, a personal renaissance for me, centered in around Book of Boba Fett, but also the fact that 2022 is going to be the biggest year in Star Wars since really The Rise of Skywalker, maybe even since The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Because between Book of Boba Fett, Cassian, Kenobi, everything else is going on, potential for Mando season 3 kicking up and maybe the end of the year. It's just a great time, and we don't even have anything on the big screen, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Rob Williams, same thought, same.
I'm looking forward to Kenobi. There's a lot of potential for Kenobi. You have a lot of revisits too, possible Jabba and Bib Fortuna is sort of that crew revisiting. You know, you have a whole bunch of that potential. Going back into the cantina and seeing Wooher kind of run things and stuff. Maybe that's like the local Cheers bar that just seems to be the go-to place that he comes to. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Disappointed it's only 6. But I would like it. But Ewan McGregor costs coin.
6 45-minute episodes, 40. That's a lot.
Is it 45?
I would guess, on a 6 episode. That's because that's roughly what we've been getting with Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
With Mando is 30 to 45 minutes, depending. I think that episode, one of them was like 50 minutes, wasn't it? Episode 5.
But the first one was 35, I think.
Gonna have to say, I know that there's a lot of my female friends in Star Wars fandom that will enjoy every moment of that 45 of that episode of Ewan McGregor. Like,
I got a man crush on Ewan McGregor.
Heck yeah, me too.
Even since he was all messed up in Train Spotting, that dude, he knows how to act. He's an amazing person with a great personality. So I'm looking forward to that. Andor, I am so bleh about. Okay, confession time. I did not like Rogue One. Rogue One is near the bottom of my list.
Whoa!
I'm sorry. It's just Andor. There was some amazing stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. Every time there's a Star Wars movie, they always seem to put amazing stuff, like Vader chopping down people and the battle after. But Andor was a bland character. I could not connect with him. I found him bland. I found the whole thing just bland, and it was just like, now you tell me there's like 12 episodes.
I think I might be wrong on that, but
either way, though,
the normal 6.
I still have faith that they're going to do a great job. So I'm who's going to be sitting in front of the TV? Yeah, me. But I'm very curious about that one because I think I'll be the one that'll need convincing that this is worth my time, I guess. But like I said, like Neil says on her show, he could watch Bantha Milk being milked for an hour and he'll still pay for Disney Plus for the subscription.
Oh yeah.
So it's just so I'm looking forward to that. I'm not like you guys. I just don't tune into the future stuff. I just kind of keep my nose out of the news and stuff because I just want it to come fresh. I'm looking for I love Bad Batch. I'm looking forward to that. Gosh, I'm just thinking about something I heard, the fact that we could, I hate saying this, could get mentions of Omega in Book of Boba. And that could, connect with Bad Batch. I mean, it's just, who knows?
Omega.
Sorry,
Rika.
Now you guys are mocking the Australians.
No, that's New
Oh,
Zealand.
not I know
Kiwi.
it's not Australia. I know.
There's a
And I just pissed off the Australians even more just by
Yes, you
saying
did.
that. I'm so sorry.
You're being quite offensive.
I'm so sorry.
Australians.
So,
Matthew Gilbert, he's chimed
Matthew, I'm sorry.
He's I'm quite happy to have these TV series for a while and to come out and have a break between movies. I hope they recalibrate that side of Star Wars as a reflection
agree.
on how the TV shows are doing. Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
Right on.
Riley's saying, "I love you all. We love you too."
Riley, hello, sir. How are you?
Oh,
I miss you,
Matthew's
buddy.
now block button is coming. All
It's
right,
that guy.
for me, I'm almost done guessing on what I'm gonna like. I said on this very podcast, I have no need for the Bad Batch. I'm done with the Clone Wars. I liked it. I'm glad they got to end it. And then Bad Batch comes out. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. I was just like, I'm like, what are you gonna do? I don't want to follow around these 5 clones. It looks like, yeah, one's Rambo and one's the brainy guy. One's but no, here I am. I'm like, oh, okay, great. And you know who saved it was Omega. I'm like, what? I'm a grown man.
Really?
What's wrong with me? But apparently, Lucasfilm knows exactly what's wrong with me, and they got my medicine. I guess they just keep giving.
They
it
do.
The guy what ails you.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh, there it is. There you go. Love Australia.
I mean it.
Yes.
I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I really love Australia.
Okay,
So much.
what we're gonna do with the last little bit of this episode here is for you two, do you have a lot of changes going around? Rob, you are now in the Rebel Legion as well as the 501st.
I am the 501st and the Rebel Legion. Yes, that is right.
And how do you tell the good people how you got into the Rebel Legion?
Okay, so for those who don't know, I am a member of the 501st Outer Rim Garrison here in Vancouver. With the help of my friends Terry and Stephen and Jamie and them, I built a Scout Trooper costume. In fact, I made a show of it, the Outer Rim Rookie, on YouTube at our Generation X-Wing podcast YouTube channel. And so we put that together and became a member. And then I got my hands on this Neon Nun costume. So from a friend of mine, so we refurbished it, put together. It's actually, there's the body right there, right around the corner there on a duct tape mannequin, and right behind Australia, just near Perth. I know my stuff. And
that's a little peek behind the curtain, if you will, folks.
Literally. And so I got Neon Nun and applied for Rebel Legion, and I got accepted, which is awesome. So now I'm working on my 3rd costume, which is Reese. There's a surprise if you don't know me. So that's currently, actually, it's in the box on the other side. There's a box right there that's full of severed Ree's head and hands and fabric. So yeah,
lots
that's
of explaining
what's happening.
if you cross the border. Like, what's in here?
You assume I crossed the border.
So this isn't a body?
Okay, so explain to the good folks the difference between 501st and Rebel Legion.
The 501st is where the bad guys doing good. They're the bad guys raising money, and so your stormtroopers, your Darth Vaders. The Rebel Legion are the good guys, your rebel pilots, your Neon Nun, Chewbacca's, all that sort of stuff. They are all kind of the same family. They're separate, but they're the same. Some places in North America, they don't mix as much as ours does. We have the Rebel Mandos, 501st droid builders, which is, like, you should know, sir,
Yes.
and Saber Guild. So the 5 of us really connect well here in BC. Better than I think.
The 5 families of cosplay in Star Wars.
It really is. And we raise money like crazy for charities and events and stuff like that. It's been here in BC. It's been really lousy with COVID. In fact, as I speak, this is what I want to tell you guys. I was just diagnosed with COVID today. I was supposed to have a troop today. And I was going to go do a Variety Kids thing. And they gave us these home tests as teachers. And I was like, shit, because I was like, woke up and I'm like, I better use that test. And I was like, yeah, okay, well, this is what I got. So now, and it was also supposed to work my Reese costume tomorrow. This weekend was stacked with 501st and fun because it's been tough trooping. It's you can't go out a lot of the time. And if one of your jobs is to connect with sick kids, and you and you're sick, you can't connect with them. So that's usually how it works. So the cons, we had to pull out the recent fan con here in Vancouver because it wasn't safe enough yet, and the one in Victoria was postponed. So in September, hopefully things will pick up. But it's just like, yeah, it's really tough, but I'm so happy, proud of my garrison, and proud of the Rebel Legion and in Vancouver and BC here, that we actually connect well with each other, and there's no elitism happening. It's nice, and that's why I like making these videos about building costumes and doing scenes of my troop and stuff, and connecting with kids and the kids at heart. Right? It's just kind of raising money for charity. And right now, one of the troops I'm doing is doing a stair climb, which I currently can't do right now because I'm stuck at home.
And
but
also, maybe stair climb isn't good with a respiratory disease. Like, I'm just saying.
Exactly.
Let's not forget, you actually have COVID, which is not great.
Yeah, I can feel it. Right? It's like I'm trying my best not to cough right now, but it's not to get into that. I'm feeling very fortunate at this moment that everything's good. But the stair climb is something that we do, and I personally tried to raise $550.77 55077 matches my TV number, which actually spells Scott, my son's name, in Leet speak. But it's just like, every year we do a stair climb, and now I'm handcuffed to even do that, and it's very frustrating because it's not about dressing up as a kid, although that's a nice little benefit. It's about raising money for those who need help. And I have this motto for my show and for what I do. It's actually on one of my coins. It's we don't do it to relive our childhood. We do it so kids can live theirs. And that's the purpose of dressing up and helping people out. And it's so important to me. And I miss it. I really miss not trooping. And so I get to do, if I can do videos and stuff, that's the best I can do, but it's not the same as actually going out there. So
wait, I hear you, because as an astromech builder, my astromech, I should actually put a compilation video of Amazon delivery guys when I open the door and okay, here's what the, like, because he's literally right behind me. Like, I don't set him up that way. It's like, I'm gonna freak out a guy today. It's like, no, it's just where he happens to be positioned in my home, or my living room. People are like, it's that double take. It's like, what? It's almost like you have a celebrity in your house. It's like.
Let's take a moment to appreciate that Rob keeps his full size to scale, screen accurate R2D2 in his living room. I love that.
Well,
it's watching over.
Yeah, he's moving to my new my astromech building garage I just built there. So he's getting a makeover because he's getting some new skins. I'm actually printing a new frame out of ABS because he's getting rid of the old frame, kind of lighten him up a bit. Yeah, he's gonna get a whole thing.
Tell you what, Rob, let's try something. We're on the fly here. Let's try and get you on my show and talk about the droid bears, because I don't think I've actually talked about that yet. Sure. And let's get you on my show. We'll do a video and we'll do a chat, and you can show off your little dome, and we'll just oh my, so we can show off your little dome and educate people on this, because it is so important. So
you say little dome, I just keep hearing you show off your head.
Oh my.
So, oh my.
Yes. Yeah, and again, I hear you. So R2 hasn't been outside of the house because it's like, I'm not going to take him to sick kids, or I'm not going to bring him to the cancer ward, because
no
reasons.
Not good.
Like, it's not all the things he's good for. Tim, before we get out of here, Nerd Room, new voice.
Yeah.
I heard an episode with you not on it. Like, what's going on? Like,
we've added a new voice here. Our boy Ian. I think most people in the community will know of him. He's coming in to supplement the podcast a little bit from time to time, and also help build out our YouTube channel. And so last about 4 months, we've really kind of focused there on YouTube to build a separate feed of supplemental discussions and supplemental videos to our actual podcast, to build out more of the toys end of things. You know, we're all big toy fans, we're all big collectors. And so we started doing things like unboxings, and Ian's really led the charge on that. He lives in Japan, and so he's got kind of a cool access to very different collectibles and different events. And so it's kind of bringing a bit of a global feel to what we're doing over there. And we're doing kind of history of videos and vlogs type stuff and really building out there. And so we've had a lot of fun actually concentrating some efforts over on YouTube, because although not new, we had a YouTube channel for a long time. It's new for us putting up videos weekly. We're kind of put ourselves down to doing one video a week, one podcast a week. Podcast is of course focused on the news and reviews of everything kind of going on. And this is about the hunt a little bit, about action figures and toys and our collections, our personal collections. So we've seen kind of a nice expansion and people starting to head over there and consume a different way, a visual way for the Nerd Room. And so we've had lots of fun with that. We just clicked over to 300 episodes at the end of last year. And so we're still going strong. And, you know, the seats might change every single week almost, it seems, but we're always putting content out and trying to have people on the show that can bring a different perspective. And we just had Kyle on the show a few weeks ago, and we've had the Calgary Ghostbusters came on, and we've had some friends from the Jurassic space, and it's just been a blast. And so we're trying to provide a little bit of different perspective there too, and let you guys hear other people and their love and passion for different franchises. So yeah, the Nerd, it's always evolving. That's something that we've said to ourselves, is that we don't stay stagnant. We don't do the same thing each and every week. And we definitely don't do the same thing each and every year. We add something little different every year in the 6 years we've been doing this now to kind of grow and really just have fun and celebrate. So much what you guys do in the space of is it called cosplaying? I don't really, no,
Why
sure,
not?
whatever.
Why not?
Whatever it is you do, trooping and building and all that, and you guys celebrating in that fashion. We try to do it just through collecting and expressing and showing that it's cool to collect, guys. Like, come on, everyone loves buying toys. We're grown men, women, whatever. Hey, I'm here for it. I was out in the hunt today, just wandering around looking for stuff, and it's truly a passion. We want to make sure people have a way to express that and also sharing it. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I'm gonna add something. I'm gonna show you something I add to my collection. I have one of the largest Reese collections around, and I just got this just.
No
recently.
correction, you have the only Reese collection around.
Yeah. Oh, look at that!
That's a T-shirt. That's
That's awesome.
It's done by Vintage Collection. Damn it, he's out here in Vancouver, but it's a great Reese action figure T-shirt. I would say Sansweet's probably got something in there, so he's got everything.
So to that point, Rob, my kind of semi goal I've had in my head for some time is to make sure that you actually have the biggest Reese collection on planet Earth, because like every time I see Reese, I just like grab it and you know what I mean?
You've sent me a couple things. I mean,
yeah. So every time I see it, I'm like, I don't know if he has this, but he needs this, because I think it's just such a cool niche little thing that. And you've done a video, or no, you recently did prior to the Sandcrawler.net going down. You did
I brought it down. After that, I couldn't take it.
You did a spotlight. It was funny because I went online and you had done a spotlight. I was like, oh, you guys should read this. I love that. Like, you're like the unofficial first cosplayer of Reese. You have this like beautiful collection, and it's cool. It's niche. And then unfortunately their site came down a day later. But I think it's so cool what you do. It's neat. Like, you know what I mean? It's
like
your
the
own
niche
thing.
Stuff. That's how I have people. That's how I enjoy collecting, is finding those little weird things that nobody wants. I got like this Mexican knockoff Reese action figure. It's a solid block of clear plastic.
It looks so cool.
And I almost wanted to buy all different colors of it. It's just so horrible, but it's lovely.
My favorite part of your Reese collection is the counterpoint with Ben from Skyhoppers, where he just can't wrap his head around it. And I remember when I first met Ben face to face, we're at Celebration Orlando in 2017, and Ash, who was part of the Skyhoppers at the time, got him a Reese action figure, but he had a camera with it, and they looked it up, and it was a special exclusive thing. So
yes, it is.
Somehow he ended up with this exclusive Reese, and it angered him so much because the camera had 3 lenses on the front to match the 3 eyes from and it's like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, like the iPhone today.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Look, this camera has 3 lenses on it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
like
he's like, people with 2 eyes use a camera with 1 lens. I love how it just drives me insane.
and the picture of him holding that thing is just like, he is not impressed.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So
And
it
again,
is wonderful.
it just so happens he stumbles across this exclusive that, do you have a Reese camera?
Well, I'm that would be lovely. I've actually looked into something like that, see if anything's available. I'm trying, but I do have that action figure.
Yes.
And it's funny because just going off on Ben for a sec, they made their logo reuse for their podcast. The Skyhoppers podcast is a reuse logo, and I love the new one, by the way. I always love that one. But the older one, I actually said, "Do you have a shirt of that?" And it's like, "No, we're not making a shirt of that." And it says, "Listen, I'll make a shirt of that, and I'll put it up on our thing, and I'll give you the profits for it." So I put the shirt up. Only one person bought it, me.
Yeah.
And then I pulled it off because nobody was buying the damn thing. And then I have just recently, once I bought that reuse mask, I took a picture of me in the mask with the shirt on, holding blue milk, and I gave it to, I sent a picture of it all the way and sent it to Ben. I go, "This is for you. You can use this." And so it's me as Reese wearing his podcasting shirt with a blue milk. So
Fantastic.
And he blocked me.
Real quick, right around the round table, Rob, tell the good people where they can find you and all your good stuff you have online.
Generation X-Wing podcast is our podcast, comes out every Saturday. We're next week, chapter 7, Book of Boba. And we also have YouTube. You can find it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that sort of stuff. Also, my personal stuff of 501st work and cosplay is the Outer Rim Rookie on our YouTube channel, Generation X-Wing YouTube channel. You just Google Outer Rim Rookie, you'll find me. And there's a Facebook and Instagram, lots of great stuff. And check out Instagram recently. I'm going to be doing a new video, and I want to take your questions. You have any 501st questions? You have any podcasting questions? I've been doing it for 6-7 years now. Wow. And I think I've got the hang of this now. But I just wish I had listeners. And if you got questions, send it to me, and I'll make a video. And I haven't told you what I'm doing with the video yet. I got a little project we're going to work on, so it's going to be fun.
Excellent. Tim.
Awesome. I'll keep it short and sweet. You can find everything that I do and my boys do over at thenerdroom.net. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, or the group on Instagram at the NerdRM. Every Thursday, new episode drops, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and beyond. There it is.
Fantastic. You can find me. I'm at Robert M. Cass on Twitter, and same as Instagram. This is the only show I do now, but apparently I'm going to make a guest appearance on Generation X-Wing. Maybe we'll talk some droids.
Outer Rim Rookie, we'll do it. We'll work on something.
Okay, we'll do. Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, it's Astromech's a lot of visual. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Also, too, the con situation. Obviously, there's not a lot going on, but I still have plans to attend Star Wars Celebration in May in Anaheim, but tentative. I must warn everybody again. It's not like they're lining up to watch me get off the plane. But if you want to see me in the States, I am in Canada. So if they don't let me across the border for COVID or any other legitimate reason, I'm sure they can find lots. Then I have to. Obviously, it's going to be a game time decision. But the plan is to go. But you never know. If there might be a big, huge spike, and I can be like, okay, no, I can't. Or you never know. I could test like Rob, you did today. I could test positive the day I go to get on the plane. Well, guess what? I'm not going. So anyway, the plan is to, but hey, it's just, again, we can't make any promises. But it's not like, Corey says, he can't wait. Well, of course Corey can't. I can't wait to see you, buddy. Riley, he's going to be around there, I'm sure. Aren't you in Tucson now, Riley? Anyway, we'll talk after. Anyway, so there we go. Crocodile Dundee. Fantastic. Other than that, that's it for the roundtable. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It's been nice to get
Thank you, Rob.
First episode in the new year. And again, check out Generation X-Wing and check out the Nerd Room podcast. You will not be disappointed. And I'm not just saying that because they're here. I legitimately listen to their shows. But also, too, I do there's a caveat with saying I had to lay off the Nerd Room because I couldn't get to the theater to see Spider-Man. So I waited till I saw it, then I had to do a catch-up.
Nice.
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 Because, it's I but it was must listen. If listen to the episode, I can't. What is it? 301, I think.
Something like that. Yeah,
Something
I think
like
so.
that.
Yes,
Troy's,
301.
Troy's reaction. Troy the boy's reaction to Spider-Man. Oh, your all reactions were wonderful, but that is right there. It's a free download.
It's his wheelhouse.
Go look it up. Just to hear him wax poetic about it was fantastic. So for Rob and Tim and myself, we'll see you next time on the roundtable. Later.
Bye.